Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Yoruus speaking and welcome to summary video for multiplayer game number 149. As usual, spoiler alert, if you do not want to know how the game went, do not watch this video before you watch the game. The link should be hovering somewhere around about my head. But if you do want to know how the game went, or you have already watched the game and want to hear me theorycraft a little bit, then I invite you to watch this video. Alright, so game played yesterday because this is gonna be up on Monday on YouTube. I've got in this game Mr. Hellbrazer playing as Portuguese, Mr. Cole Jones playing as America, Twinson playing as Assyria, Miura playing as Inca, and Mr. Kex playing as Aztecs. This is with the following rules. If I forget about a couple of rules that was in this game, then I'm sorry. But if I remember correctly, it's no rationalism, no Walls Pantheon, no Hubble telescope, no buying great scientist with fate. And I think that's probably it. So this set of rules is aimed for quite a long game when you can experiment with a lot of different strategies and a lot of different social policies, because the game drags a little bit more than usual, and science is pretty even. If it's not that even in the early game, it definitely evens out as soon as people start researching tags. Basically, the science game is much slower in this kind of a setup, so it allows to experiment a lot with a lot of different approaches to the game and a lot of social policy choices when you're not bound to just get to rationalism and get that stuff going. And this is like we tried, like, I think this is a third or a second. I think it's a second start of this game. So when I look at this capital, I was like super sad, because in the first try to launch this game, when we picked France, I had a mountain river capital with, I believe, like 6 granary resources on the river. So I was a little bit saddened by what I saw in here, and I had the idea in this particular game to, well, as soon, basically, like from the day before I played the game, I had in my mind a strategy that I was hoping to no, Opacorn, I will not play another game that I was thinking about, and that strategy involved obviously honor. But that strategy involved getting to commerce as quickly as possible, and actually going to war with Langschnet's timing. So, in my mind, I had set up a strategy that I wanted to try, especially with rules like that. That I wanted to go honor, I wanted to get Great Lib. So I would like to have, like, go all in into Great Lib, get honor, and go through things like, NC, Oracle, enter with theology, get Angkor Wat for university, maybe in the meantime plant one city after NC, hopefully get Oracle, and then go as quickly as possible to fill out the commerce tree to get as much gold as possible, and prepare for a timed crossbow Langschnet push with commerce done as quickly as possible. So grabbing just a couple of policies in honor to maybe get some tributes at the start, and getting some gold to speed up like the early game with buying buildings or buying workers or buying units, maybe with the both units taking a city state nearby, and then preparing to go to war with a well promoted Langsnet, like heroic epic and double promoted heroic epic Langsnets, and fairly decently upgraded, crossbows or even compos, whatever, and go to kill some players. This was the idea that I had in my mind, like before the game started. This was my idea. And the previous capital was really, really cool for that, because I was on a hill, I had a lot of chops, I had a lot of food, so that's perfect, because my capital would be just ridiculously amazing. In the previous spawn. This spawn, on the other hand, is a mess. Right? This spawn is a mess, because I'm on a coast. There's not too much food around. There's like 2 luxuries that are literally on the other side, on the opposing side of what you would like to have for early game stuff. What you want is like mining resources or something like that. Something that you can improve by going for mining, so you get chops out of Great Lipe or chops for Oracle or NC or stuff like that. This starting location had nothing, like nothing. But the only good thing is like marble. And I'm like thinking, oh, I had this strategy in my mind, and I'm like, I still want to do it. And I said to myself, like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it. So, like, it makes absolutely no sense setting on marble, because there's like nothing. You see this spot? There's like nothing. There's nothing in here. It's just like this capital seems horrible. For the late game, this capital seems like horrible. But I was like, no. I want to try it, and I'm gonna do it. So I just went to grab the marble spot, and technically it shouldn't work. Technically it shouldn't work, but I got a pretty, okay, there we go. I got pretty decent ruins. I think on the first reload, because it was like a couple of reloads already. On the first reload I had population ruin, which was not that bad, but on the second ruin I believe I got pottery done. Before I got my monument finished, I got pottery done, so I was thinking like, that's not bad for actually getting Great Lipe, right? So obviously I went for writing, so monument into granary, or even actually into a worker first. Let's see. Let's scroll it up a little bit. Another reload. There we go. Now I gotta... yeah, okay. So, another reload. Okay, so the first reload was probably a little bit better. But I think I got pottery on the second run, or population. Anyways, I'm done with like turn 11. 3 pop city with 2 sheeps, 1 stone. And I almost have writing done. And I'm sitting on marble, so I do have the bonus already. And I do have a couple of chops. So I'm going for the Great Lipe, and that's really pretty cool, because it's like 11 turns right now. So I got writing, and I start off with like 1 turn on Great Library, and from now on I was just like checking every single turn. I'm checking demographics, and I'm checking if somebody goes literacy, right? So there you go. I check it out, nobody has writing tag, so I try to sneak in, like, okay, let's go granary, right? I do a little bit of scouting. I go honor. Well, I actually went like tradition into honor, so I get I get to warriors, and as I said, every single turn I'm checking. Every single turn I'm checking if somebody has writing, right? I know my capital needs hanging gardens. It's just like, after I scouted the capital, if you look at this capital is piss poor. It's just like, it's such a poor capital that you just cry when you look at this capital, right? Okay, it can crank out just a little bit stuff in the early game, but for the late game, like for growth of this capital, it's just bad. Okay, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sheep. That's decent. it has wheat in the third tile, deer in the third tile, and banana in the third tile. Okay, one horse, and then hills, just hills, and it's on a mountain, and that's it. So, like, working a lot of specialist slots in this capital is like no way. It's like looking like at this, it's like no way. How do you check what technologies people go? Well, on demographics, like early, when you meet people, the technologies that they do have are cheaper cost of those technology in comparison for or to the other technologies on the same wait a second, it's vertical, right? uh, Column of the text. But at the early game, when you writing is something different, because text, like percentage of literacy, starts when you research writing. So basically it's very easy to know if somebody research writing in the early game. You don't really need to meet people, because demographics tell you all. If you have writing and you're like on 5, 6, 7, 8%, and the bottom tree is like 0%, and the average is around 1 or 2, that means that nobody else researched writing, because they would be boosted to like 5% as well, and the average would go definitely above like around 4, 3, 4 or something like that. So because nobody is researching writing, the average is like 1, 2%. That means that if you have writing, nobody else has writing. So that's what you check when you go for grade live. But happily for me, nobody had like writing tag ruin, and nobody actually went for writing. Maybe because they saw that somebody's rushing grade live, and nobody really wanted to rush grade live. So writing in the early game is pretty, like, you just don't go for that, right? If you don't want to rush grade live. So because you're not really building a library very early on, unless you want to go, like for Hayne Gardens or Petra, without grade live, so you don't risk losing it. So I was checking that like every single turn, and I was pretty lucky because nobody was really going for that grade live. So I decided to delay the grade live and sneak in some economy. I decided to actually sneak in quite a bit of economy, not only economy, but I saw this beautiful spot in here. Look at this spot. I saw this beautiful spot in here with so many HB is Hellbrazer. With so many spots for sea resources and a lovely Petra in here. And I'm like thinking, okay, nobody goes grade library. It's gonna mess up my strategy, but why the heck not try to get a Petra in the expansion? Like, get that city, sneak in a settler, and just try to get Petra in the expansion. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it. So I sneak in a settler in the meantime. I sneak a settler. I think I even sneak a caravan, I believe. Let's try to play this out a little bit. So there's the settler. Another build is we finished it like 2 hours ago, White Semi. January, as you can see. Okay, I went to finish the grade library just to not risk it that much. Sorry. Wow. Okay. Put it some turns into that, and going for, come on, going for the settle and then grabbing a caravan. Okay, I need to switch to the next recording. There we go. Okay, and the fun fact is, alright, so turn 31. It's a turn 31 grade library. I do have my worker in my cap that I hard build it, and I did steal a worker from come on, from a city state. I think I did not research fishing. I'm not sure, maybe I got it from a ruin, but anyways, like, I'm starved for luxuries right now, and After grade life, I'm going to use grade life to get mathematics, so I can start building hang gardens. But I also wanted to go for get a caravan to my city. I also need happiness, right? So in Orleans, I just built a granary, workboat, and a granary. That's all. No monument, no nothing. Just a caravan sent to the city, and I actually went for masonry too, to grab marble to have happiness to actually grow Orleans, and I sneaked in a shrine. It's like 3 times, right? So Orion's gonna have a granary, then it's gonna have a shrine. I believe I also grabbed like a shrine before building hang gardens. So I was hoping to get hang gardens in my capital and get Petra in my expansion. Now, there was a problem with the Pantheon though, and you can see the chat in here that I actually asked because Twinsen had a natural wonder and pretty good fate Pantheon, like Desert Pantheon. So I kindly asked Mr. Twinsen to like, can you delay like enhancing your religion by 2 turns, so I can grab a Pantheon, because when somebody enhances the religion, you're no longer available to get a Pantheon yourself. So I picked the Wonder Production. He agreed, and I picked the Wonder Production Pantheon. I also picked the policy from tradition when you can build wonders faster. So I'm like honor 3 warriors and garrison. So honor 3 or honor 2. Well, technically, so honor 2 and tradition 1, right? So I already have my 5 policies. I put it somewhere. So instead of finishing at 3, like I could be 5 honor right now. So instead of finishing a policy, right? Well, not 5, 4. 1, yeah, 4, 6. Okay, so almost finishing a social policy tree. I have my social policy spread out because I'm like, I need to get Petra in Orleans, and if I get a Petra there, I'm cool, and we can start thinking about stuff. So I've got 2 neighbors. Miora's capital is right next to me. He's also went honor. And Mr. Twinsen is somewhere in the north, and he actually planted like cities like crazy. So I was a little bit afraid, but he exchanged embassy with me. Miura exchanged embassy with me, so they weren't really going for the wonders, though Twinsen was a little bit of tradition, but he decided to plant cities instead of build anything. So I was pretty optimistic, though Twinsen had Desert Pantheon. So I was able to get Petra. I think I skipped a little bit too much right now. I got Petra in my expansion on turn. Let's see. On turn 55. And I said to myself, like, okay, I had that plan to go like honor and kill stuff. But since I got like wonders that I want, I'm like, I got Great Life, I got Hang Gardens, I got Petra. So I'm thinking like, screw this, right? Let's go wonders. I'm like, wonders after wonders after wonders, right? So I get Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, Orions get Colossus, I get like such a big multitude of wonders that it's beyond madness, like Chichen, Angkor Wat, Great Wall, Terracotta Army, Great Lighthouse, and all of that cool stuff. I got so many wonders. It's just like madness. I also added 2 cities to get that 4-city empire, and I went aesthetics. Though my initial plan was commerce, but I thought to myself like, oh my god, I'm getting so many wonders that like if I go to go aesthetics and just grab, like that policy that adds culture to wonders and a golden age, it will be ridiculous. It's just gonna be ridiculously good. So I went into aesthetics, and all my cities, like my expansions, the queue order in my expansions, since I didn't have tradition finished, the queue order in my expansions was something like, monument, amphitheater, granary. I delayed like libraries and all the stuff, so I can get to even to opera houses. So when I'm gonna finish aesthetics, I'm gonna go into tradition, and I'm gonna grab the culture policy, the for culture buildings in tradition, so I can get like free museums in my cities. So I was thinking like, okay, with this amount of cities, I'm just gonna grab wonders. I'm gonna have fun. Screw that Miura is like honor. Miura went to kill city states. Twinson was just like sim sitting. He planned it defensively. Like he didn't plant cities so he could pass into my land. He actually planted cities like one tile of river. There was like a huge river in the north, so he planted cities one tile off that river. So I couldn't, like shoot the city and take it on the same turn. If he wouldn't get the roads, I would need to step through the river, and he could had a chance to destroy any units that would be incoming there. So actually grabbing those cities would be quite hard. So I was surrounded like by north by a person who just planted very very defensively, so there was absolutely no point attacking into that way. And on the other side, I've got a honor player who just goes on wreckage and slaughters every single city state that's around. So that suits me. I'm honor 2. I'm like second in army all the time. I get terracotta army, I get defensive buildings. So I'm like, okay, I can just like wander spam forever. So technically I'm just doing that all game long. I'm just like grabbing a wonder after a wonder, focusing on culture and focusing on economy as much as possible. So like the list of wonders was tremendously crazy in this game. I think at this point of the game I'm like Great Wall, Petra, Colossus, Great Lighthouse, Terracotta Army, Statue of Zeus, Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, Chichen Itza, Hanging Gardens, Great Library. So that's already like 10 wonders. I then get Sistine Chapelle. I get Sistine Chapelle, and I think there was like I get Globe Theater. Yeah, technically tank roleplay. I get Globe Theater. I get Uffizi. I didn't get Taj Mahal. I didn't get, though I went for it. But I got defensive buildings. I like slowed down my tech a little bit. I got Himeji Castle. I got Red Fort because I knew people was gonna start like thinking about killing me. Yeah, he's gonna try to kill me. So I got like Himeji later on. What did I get? I got Statue of Liberty. I got Cristo Redentor. I got Eiffel Tower. I got Broadway. I got Sydney Opera House. And it's like it. So around 19 to 20, 90 to 20 wonders. Borobudur. I got Borobudur. And I got Great Mosque of Gen. So yeah, at least like 20 or 21 wonders were in my possession in this game. So that was just like super crazy amazing. And now like with all of this setup, maybe it was a mistake, maybe not, but uh, but like people wanted me to go autocracy, and like I didn't get any stuff there. But I was like thinking, I don't want to go autocracy in here. I delayed the factory, so I delayed ideology quite a bit. My ideology was the third or fourth taken even. Cole got like let's talk about the situation all around the map. Like okay, so Miura was slaughtering city states. Twinson was doing piety, glory of God, tradition. So just like SimCity to maximize science. Kex was doing pretty well, but he and Miura, who went honor and started to slaughter city states. Miura wanted a city state next to Kex. Kex didn't want to give him that city state, so Miura and Kex started to fight, which was just like even better than me. For me, Kex got destroyed, and Miura started to attack Cole. Yeah, Hellbrazer won Chris of Albion. So Miura started to attack Cole, and Cole was having a very good science game, and he was preparing for like autocracy, commerce, purchasing probably B-17s, and then like killing all the map. So Miura like said to probably thought like, okay, this is like the best time to attack him, and try to push into him with cavalries and artillery. And in the meantime, Hellbrazer was piety, commerce, also prepare piety, patronage. Later on, commerce, also preparing to go for some buying strats, just with city states, right? So Miura decides to attack Cole, and Cole puts like everything that he can, and he puts everything that he can to defend against that. So since his first ideology, because his science was that good, I forget to mention that Cole had Fountain of Youth in his capital, though he moved 3 turns to get it. So his game was pretty on spot. So he invested everything to defend against Miura. So like foreign legions, using his gold that he has had stockpiled to buy units, and fend off Miura. And basically, like Cole and Miura were locked in that war for like forever, because Miura took one of his cities. Then he said like, okay, I can't push into that make peace. But Cole said like, dude, man, no, I'm gonna war you until like the end of the game. So then then the war started again, and they warred and they warred and they warred and they warred. Basically, HB means Hellbrazer. Please no Flamerino. Please Flamerino. So that's what that's. And there's not too much that I can show. There's not too much that I can show that happened in the meantime, because basically not much happened in the meantime. Hell was sim sitting, doing his stuff, gathering as much gold as possible, slowly getting the city states. I gotta though say that he wasn't really pushing into the patronage, because Twinsen had like 5 city-state allies. I had 1 city-state ally. I don't know how about the other players, though Miura did kill a couple of city-states, but Hellbrazer was not really like throwing away the gold, and if somebody was allied with a city-state, I don't know, he did that intentionally, but like friendship suited him, no problem. He was not trying to ally city-states as like very very hardly. So if somebody had allied with a city-state, he was like, okay, I'm not gonna take those city-states. Friendships is just gonna be enough for me with the city-states. And I have to commend Hellbrazer. That was a very very good play. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that was okay, because nobody really cared. Like, well, I did care about the city states, and I mentioned that several times, and I was like, oh, Yoruus is pointing fingers, stop pointing fingers. I'm like, okay, screw you guys, I'm not gonna say anything, basically, because like, I am having a good game. I'm have like tons of culture, full aesthetics, running wild with culture, science not that bad, production not that bad, no real enemies at this stage of the game, because Miura was locked at war with Cole. So theoretically my position was looking very very strong, and nobody was really interested. Like, Hellbrazer patronage, okay, let him have it. So nobody really cared about it, and I personally say that I slept at this stage of the game as well. Not like I could have done too much, because I had my 1 city-state ally. So theoretically, I was satisfied with that 1 city-state ally. Twinsen had a couple of city-states allied. So I'm thinking like, okay, probably even if he's gonna get Forbidden Palace, he's gonna have the host advantage. He had the religion, no ideology though. Even with that, he and like Miura killing off a couple of city-states. In my mind, it was like, nah, he shouldn't get enough votes for the first vote. There's like no way for it, right? So I just like kept on with my business. I was spamming wonders. I was preparing economy again. Like, I filled aesthetics, I filled tradition, I filled commerce. I got freedom, I got statue. Like, I got everything. Later on, I fill out honor, and I got like too many social policies in the end. And I was even starting to go piety at the end. So I was good on that side, but at the same time, Twinsen also had a very good game. He was the science leader. I was like right behind him, but he chose a different path basically. So he chose to go for nukes, you know, like the route from atomic theory to nukes and get rocket artillery, mobile SAMs, good bombers, and that stuff. And it was very obvious to me that he's gonna try to attack me with the nukes and with all that stuff. He was preparing for that. He was building bombers, fighters, and Hellbrazer is adding right now that at this point of the game, Hellbrazer's plan. Well, he didn't really plan for diplomatic victory. He planned to like sneak in, as he says, like naval units to take down my coastal city, Orleans, and the other coastal city. Though I was like preparing defense in Orleans for naval attack from the start. From the start of the game, I was like preparing to defend that city from frigates. I got Himeji Castle there. I specifically went for Red Fort, so I got Red Fort. I grabbed religion, surprisingly, because nobody really wanted a religion. Like, Twinsen had a very strong religion, Hellbrazer had very strong religion, and the rest, like, was, I don't care, I'm gonna adopt someone's religion. But I got my religion, because the Fate from Wonders was still there, and I really wanted Defender of the Pantheon. So I was preparing defense, like, I detoured from industrialization just to get the defensive Wonders, and I got the religion, though Twinsen's religion was pretty good. I like get rid of his religion and I got my religion in. It also helped me with Fate, so that was pretty good. So I was preparing for that. I was thinking like, okay, maybe frigates would be a problem for a little while, but after my city like went up to 70 combat, I was like, okay, frigates are no problem. Next stop is battleships, right? But I had to deal with Twinsen, and that's kind of a problem for me. That was kind of a problem for me because I took absolutely different route when it comes for technologies. I was really hoping that Twinsen just gonna go like try to go to space and he will not try to go to war. So what my hope was to get to military techs. I got like my commerce done. I had more production than Twinsen. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to attack him at some point of the game and just kill him. I was not really thinking like tourism was not something that I had planned in this game. It was cool to have tourism 100%, but it was not the way I wanted to win versus Twinsen. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill him and get rid of him from the game. Then like my tourism would be just everybody else couldn't do nothing if I can take the science leader. Well, they could do something like Miura and Cole would need to stop fighting, but like after that attack, like Miura destroyed Cole's game. Cole was just like, screw you, I'm just gonna kill you, destroyed my game, now you have to pay for that, because why not? I mean, like, if I'm gonna you already destroyed my game, so my chances to win are very, very slim. So I need to kill you one way or the other, because you're an honor guy with 1 million of troops and 1 million of hammers. I was going for commerce and I wanted to fight, so you forced me into fight early on, I'm gonna fight you now. And so Miura and Cole was like out of equation. Kex was already dead. So it was like me, Twinsen, and Mr. Hellbrazer. Hellbrazer was on the other side of the map, and I knew he's gonna come at some point with 1 million of troops, you know, like autocracy commerce. It like takes no brainer that he's gonna attack me at some point. And I've got Twinsen in here who started to go for nukes. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for bomb shelters, and like I'm not gonna have any timing pushes against that, but I'm not really certain how fast he's gonna get to nukes. So I need bomb shelters because otherwise I'm just like dead. If I'm not gonna get bomb shelters, my city is gonna be destroyed, and I'm out of this game. So, though, like Hellbrazer was pointing a finger at me that I'm going tourism, that was definitely not the case. I went just to grab bomb shelters. Tourism was like addition to all of that. Of course, I got hotels and like broadcast towers and all of that stuff. That's kind of pretty natural. I built it archaeologists for quite a bit of time to maximize my culture. Was like quest culture, like over 1k culture. That was the quest, but not really like tourism because Twinsen has aesthetics. So that's a big amount of culture that I most probably won't be able to go through all that culture with my tourism without actually taking him down, because if I would be close to a tourist victory, in my brain it would be like, okay, Hellbrazer is gonna show up with fleet, Twinsen's gonna attack me, and Miura's gonna attack me, and I'm gonna be fighting on 3 fronts. So though tourism was there, I wanted to fight, and I wanted to fight this out. But for me, Twinsen was a problem. Him not going for, like science stuff and just going straight to nukes was a problem for me, and a huge problem. I don't have uranium, so I can't counter nukes with nukes. I need to get to bomb shelters, and then I need to hope to defend a little bit. And I'm already see that I'm gonna miss all of those timings, and like there's no way I can. I'm gonna get nuked 100%, because he's just better at tech at this stage of the game than I am. So I started to mount an offensive in hopes that I can kill him, or at least slow him down enough that I'm gonna be hit by 1 nuke, maybe 2 nukes, but I will kill him. So I'm starting to spend all my gold. No, I wouldn't win Hellbrazer. That I'm gonna just like that I started to spend my money on military units, and I wanted to kill Mr. Twinsen. And I kind of knew that land invasion is like out of the question, that I can't really where am I gonna bulb them, Hellbrazer? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't really work like that. So in my mind is like, I need to get there before he's gonna get nukes. Like nukes are, he's gonna have a nuke in like 5 turns. So at turn like 170, I've got like around 5 turns to get rid of his nuke. So I'm spending all my gold right now, like merchants and all of that stuff that was left there. I'm spending on like buying battleships. I'm spending on buying submarines, in a hope that with my fleet and a little bit of rocket artillery, I can divide his forces. I know that I have an advantage on sea and he has 0 fleet, but he's got fortified borders with me. But I'm full honor. I've got the general. I can fate purchase a general. So I was hoping that I can take his cities quickly enough that it's going to slow him down enough, and he's not going to have a range to nuke me anymore. I wasn't really interested in keeping those cities from land, but I needed them to be destroyed so he can't get a nuke there. And I wanted to push from the sea, so I wanted like a all-in coordinated attack, battleship, submarines, and a couple of rocket artilleries. I even picked like foreign legions from Freedom, and I wanted to throw all of that at Twinsen and attack him. So the war was starting to going really, really good. Let's wait a second. Yeah, let's go here. As you can see, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, but just not fast enough. I could have taken at least 1 city, and that would satisfy me from this side. My army would get nuked in here, but that city would be gone, and I could later on push onto the other city. I already have like good bombers, my tech is pretty decent, and I'm on route to stealth bombers. And on the sea, I have a hefty amount of units. Let's try to see here. Where's the... oh, there we go, a little bit to the back. Let's go to the sea. Oh, okay. And I've got my units in here, enough of army to most probably take his capital. It's like 80 something strength capital. So the attack from the fleet was meant to maybe not take his capital. I'm not saying I would take his capital, but his first nuke would be coming in like 2 turns. So and the other nuke in like 4 turns after. So my goal with the Navy attack was not necessarily taking his capital, because he would have the nuke done in there, but the goal of that attack was to force him to use his first nuke on my navy. Okay? This way I could protect my army, my land army. This way I could protect my land army from getting nuked, and I could push into those 2 cities. And then I'm like, cool, okay, he can nuke the army again, but now we're like done. He cannot put the nukes inside of the cities anymore, and I can get more army, get more tech. But Mr. Hellbrazer decided to show up in here with his fleet. Though it looks pretty bad right now. Whereas like this is turn after. This looks pretty bad, but his fleet got slaughtered. I'm like, nuclear submarines with double promotions just slaughtered his fleet. It just got vaporized. I lost maybe 2 or 3 units, but he achieved the goal. He achieved the goal. Well, he wasn't probably aware how much it screwed me over, but my front of the army got just like destroyed, right? There we go. So there we go. I have no more army right now, and I'm like, oh my god, Hellbrazer! I'm like, I hate you so much right now, at this point of the game. So I'm screwed. My fleet didn't achieve the goal that I wanted to achieve, so didn't force the nuke on the fleet. And my army that was about to take the city and go through the next city was nuked away. And now he was sitting on 2 nukes. So my chances to get this game done with the initial push was just like, we're like done. I can't take him, right? He can nuke the fleet, and he can nuke the land army because he's got 2 nukes. So I cannot approach his cities, and I don't have a way to approach his cities anymore right now. So from this moment of the game, I'm like tunnel vision right now on like, okay, let's survive, right? So yeah, internet would be a cool idea, but I'm throwing like everything in my powers to get to stealth as much as possible so I can survive, you know, like this bomber, tank, rocket artillery push, like covered by nukes that can destroy my land army. I know that I need stealth bombers and I need planes, so I'm trying to pick off a unit after a unit after a unit after a unit, and slowly get to stealth so I can actually survive this, right? And it's working pretty well. I got like 1 nice textile, and there's 6 turns for Diplo Victory. I also send a settler in here to grab uranium and hopefully get some nukes later on. And as I said, I'm like tunneled vision right now. So I'm like tunneled vision. My social policy is like totally done. And I'm like tunneled vision on just like getting to that stealth and getting done with twins. And I'm not paying attention to anything that's going on right now in this game. As I said, from the mid game, I did the count wrong, and I thought that Hellbrazer cannot win with that many city-states dead, and not passing his ideology, that he cannot win diplomatic victory, so I'm not paying attention to that at all. And like one turn, like Twinsen is pushing into me, I'm getting stealth in 3 turns, so I would probably start to push him back. I also got my uranium online soon. And Manhattan project's done, so later on I would couple this with nukes and missile cruisers. So I would probably eventually break Twinsen. It would take quite a bit of turns. Maybe I could sneak in internet in the meantime and grab some musicians in there. But it doesn't really matter. It's like 1 turn left for diplomatic victory. Nobody's really paying attention to that. And a disaster happened. Like there was, from my point of view, there was a disaster happened when Hellbrazer's fleet was wiped off the planet. He sent me like a peace deal, and I was so tunnel vision on this situation, it didn't even occur to me that he could aim for diplomatic victory. I like stopped checking it 100%. So like 1 turn before, he's starting to buy off city states, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, oh my god. Twinsen didn't declare war on him as quickly as possible when he started to buy off city states, because I don't know why he just wanted to end the game, and I cannot declare war on my one city state that Hellbrazer just like buys it out. And what happens happens. Mr. Hellbrazer gets a diplomatic victory on turn 182. GG, Mr. Hellbrazer. GG, Mr. Hellbrazer. When you look at this, I think even on this turn, it would be possible, like, if Twinsen would want to drag this game a little bit more, but this is like the same situation with Cole and Miura. It's like, if you look at this from this perspective, why would Twinsen want to stop Hellbrazer from winning a diplomatic victory? No, I don't think it's not like that. It's the same situation like with Miura and Cole. Miura and Cole. Well, lucky. I wouldn't call it lucky. It's just a diplomatic victory. Like, well played at the good moment. Diplomatic victory. So it's just well played, because Miura and Cole are locked in a war. Okay, Miura is winning. Miura is winning the game, well, winning the war, but he's not winning the game. If he's gonna kill Cole, then he still gonna be in the middle, so why would he want to stop Hellbrazer if he has very slim chances to win the game himself? Because, like, Miura would need to kill Hellbrazer, he would need to kill me, he would need to kill Twinsen, so, like, from Miura's perspective, why would he want to stop Hellbrazer at this point of the game? Same goes for Cole. Why would Cole want to stop Hellbrazer from winning the game? And same goes for Twinsen. Why would Twinsen want to stop Hellbrazer from winning the game? Even if he could stop him from winning the game at this point, what would be the point when he cannot win the game himself? Because most probably he would be crushed by me eventually, by my military, or he's just gonna lose for a tourism victory. So, except me, which that peace treaty was horrible, except me, like, nobody had really any intentions to stop Hellbrazer from winning a diplomatic victory at this point. So it has like nothing to do with luck. It's just like well played in a good moment. Hellbrazer noticed that he can get a diplomatic victory. I made a horrible mistake by not counting the votes correctly in the mid game. I assumed that he is not going to be able to get enough votes because there was a lot of city-states dead, and I was wrong. So it's just like GG for Mr. Hellbrazer. So, as I said, it was very well played, very nicely adapted to the situation on the map at the end of the game, and he got a diplomatic victory. So that was pretty cool, pretty cool and surprising. Pretty cool and surprising. I think like the look on the face. Let's see this. Like when he did it exactly, like at the end of the turn, I think like people on the stream thought that it was just like, yeah, there we go. Fail fish. Well, you cannot see it. Okay. There we go. The look on my face. Was here? Not here. It should be like a previous turn or something. It was like after all the moves he started to do it. I think this is a very good moment to watch. You still can't see? Oh, damn it. You have to see him. No, damn it, you have the background. Ah, shit. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Oh, we need to destroy the camera, right? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Changes eyes. 35 seconds. Not even time to react, like kill a city state. And can't declare war. Like the first idea, like let's declare war, and I can't declare the war. I'm like, oh, like I hate you. I hate you all. Oh boy, right? Oh boy. So, yeah. So we got outplayed by Mr. Hellbrazer in the end. So GG, Mr. Hellbrazer. GG, very good game. So, what could I have done? What could I have done? Well, could I stop this in this situation? I don't think so. I don't think so. Could I stop this? No. I couldn't stop this one way or the other. I was on the other side of the map. I could I could delay this maybe. Because Twinsen was like in such a good shape. As you can see, like I'm missing shit tons of culture on Mr. Twinsen. Shit tons of culture. Internet wouldn't help me with that. I'm like, internet would drag me into 1000 and I would need so much more stuff. So maybe I could stop the first vote, but I couldn't stop the next vote, one way or the other. So that would be a victory for Mr. Hellbrazer as well. Like the next vote is in 12 turns, so even if the first vote wouldn't pass, I would need to either kill the city state, and I couldn't because I'm locked at war with Twinsen. And as I said earlier, like Twinsen has no interest in stopping Hellbrazer. Or Miyoda or Cole would need to do something, but they're also not interested into doing something. So me alone, I can't reach Hellbrazer in time, or I can't kill that many city states in time when I'm warring Twinsen. I'm barely defending against Twinsen, not mentioning like trying to attack into Hellbrazer. So one way or the other, the first vote or like small mistake that I have done, it wouldn't change too much. It wouldn't change too much. In this situation on the map, when Cole and Miyoda is locked in war in there and Twinsen decided to attack me with nukes and kill me, there was absolutely no way I could go there and stop Mr. Hellbrazer. I couldn't. So I couldn't do anything about it. When you look at this, like there's like no possibility that I can do anything about this. It's like in this situation where Cole and Miyoda fights and they are shielding, like if I would like to go through land, I would need to kill like Miyoda absolutely. And if I need to invest like into sea army, I still can't do this because I'm barely like at missile cruiser. Building up a missile cruiser fleet and following land army or stuff would take so much time. When I'm locked at war with Twinsen, there's no way I can do this. I could do it if Twinsen would not attack me, but Twinsen was preparing to attack me with nukes, so I had to fend this off. So in this situation, this vote or the next vote, I couldn't stop this one way or the other because like everybody was fighting with each other. So yeah, diplomatic victory Very nice game, Mr. Hellbrazer. Very nice game. Very nice played. I gotta admit though, I really enjoyed this game. I had this idea at the start of the game when I wanted to kill people, but that's changed into total wander whoring France, and it was amazing. That was amazing. I really enjoyed this game. There was just like such a amazing culture game that, wow, I enjoyed definitely every little bit of it. Yes, we did not win, but it was still like amazingly fun game. So, GG. Thank you very much for watching. If you didn't watch the game, go check the link. It should be hovering somewhere above my game. And see you next time. So, best wishes. Yoruus out.